Hi, everyone. We meet again in MGM 3113 Organizational Behavior. And today's topic, which is going to be very, very important topic in your life, either currently or when you become an employee or business owner in the future. Okay? It's all about your stress and how are you managing stress? How successfully you going to manage the stress? Okay? Take my word for it. Stress is real. It's inside you, and it's going to be with you for the rest of your life. Because if we do not have stress, we will die. Stress is the mechanism of giving you the energy to wake up, to get you going throughout the day. So stress is real. But the extended stress is the one that's going to give us some issues over long duration. And multiple sources of the stress is that what going to give us some issues. Right now, probably as a student, you are already facing multiple sources of stress. I can give you three. Number one stressor, they call it, is your relationship stress. The stress that you have with your siblings, with your parents, plus with your friends and girlfriend, boyfriend, and eventually with your husband, wife, and most importantly, the relationship stress that you're going to work, okay, you're going to face in the workplace with your colleagues, with the immediate bosses, the big bosses, and whatnot. So it all comes under one source. That is going to be your relationship stress. The second, it's going to be your health stress. When the health is not good and the consequences of not being in a good state of health, particularly when you have responsibilities towards yourself and your immediate family, your children, or your spouses, it's going to be really, really bad. Third, which you will face if you're not prepared for now, it's what we call as the financial stress. So eventually, when you work and the money is not enough to take care of the bills and to fail to provide a good life to your family, and also related to your health later, where you're unable to provide a good health services to your family, yourself, your children's, and including your parents. So you will have. So there are so many sources of stress in our life. And these three are the top three. Okay. I remember Jet Li, the famous Kung Fu actor. Okay. He said that, okay, don't die for your job and don't die due to the stress in the job. He said, because you'll be replaced within 2 days after you are dead. So it's not worth dying due to the stress in the workplace, he says. So don't die for that. Instead, okay, manage your stress, he said. Okay. My friend was the other day was telling, hey, no more 2 days. He says the advertisement in a recruitment column to replace you going to be faster than the advertisement in the obituary column to announce about your death. So how fast? So you're just a number. So it's not going to be worth dying for the job due to the stress. So that's another idea. So today we're going to look into what is this stress is all about, okay? And what are the sources of it? And how could you individually manage your stress? Then what are the action taken by organizations to help you to manage your stress? These are some of the, okay, stress sources we call this. Sometimes we call it as okay, stressors. Okay, look at the diagram. It clearly says, okay, what are the areas of your life causes you the most stress? These are some of the statistics that is given to us. But let's dissect this. Financial worries, 64%. I did mention just now, right? So make sure that you live a life that you're not going to worry about finance. We have spoken about this so many times. Okay, financial worries. Work is 60%. Wow. 60% of your stress coming from your work. Family responsibilities, 47%. Then health concern is 46%. You see, these are some of the stressors. Whether you like it or not, all four, maybe three, maybe two, but at least one will become your source of stress in the future. So how are you going to deal with that? Okay. So in that what you call poll, the organization behavior poll they asked people what are the stressors for you. So imagine that, 64%, okay, they were saying that are unable to cope with the stress. 64%. They said they're unable to cope with the stress. Almost about two-thirds of them, Okay. So about 5%, they said, okay, I can deal with that. 31%, one third, they are saying that stress is there, it's manageable. So I really wish that all of you are in these two categories, the 31% and the 5%. Okay. But if you're already in a 64%, remember you must learn the coping mechanism with the stress, or okay, you must get some help and assistance for you to manage your stress. So this is what we call as a model of stress. Okay, where the stress coming in from and whatnot. Okay, it clearly says that, okay, there are potential sources. They have divided into these three. Number one is that economic uncertainty. So there's, you don't know the job will be available or not and whatnot. Okay, and number two, okay, the political stabilities. Okay, you don't know which government is dealing and whatnot. Finally, is a technological change when there is new technology. For instance, we talk about it, Chat GPT, right? So it's already in place. There are many people now worried that whether they're going to lose their job or not, like a robotic. Many people are talking about whether they're going to lose their job or not. So that's what the environmental factors, that most of them are beyond your control. Then we're talking about organizational factors, what's happening in the company itself. Okay, the demands of the task that you're performing more and more, and the role. Okay, so like myself, let's say I'm a lecturer, I'm also facing the challenge of dealing with that. As an academic advisor, so many things in my mind. So am I cool, or am I under pressure, under stress? Not, that's another thing. And interpersonal demand, the relationship factor. Remember about among my colleagues, among my students and whatnot. These are some of the issues that are related to organization. Now, the most important thing is the personal factor, remember? So the family problem, financial problem, economic problem, health problem, all that comes in here. So when these three sources, okay, combine together or they exist individually, this is where we're going to talk about experience stress, the real stress that you are actually facing. So now the experience stress is further, okay, what you call influenced by the people. So that means the same people, two different people facing the same stressors will respond differently, right? So it's all about the individual level of abilities. For instance, the perception level, we study about that in OB, and your job experience, your social support that you have, and also your personality trait. What kind of personality? Remember, we are talking about neuroticism, right? Are you extrovert, introvert, agreeableness? People from the agreeableness background will find a lot of stress because they do not know how to say no. So that's going to be another issue as well. Then also some cultural differences. In some cases, stress is accepted as part and parcel of your life. In some cases, small stress, little stress will create a lot of anxiety. The consequences of this element, three level. One is a physiological symptom. Okay, so the way that your body feels, right? Immediate effect. Sometimes you sweat, and also if you're talking about you get sick, okay, and eventually will lead into serious health condition. Because you must know that stress will lead to anxiety. Anxiety will lead to depression as well. Or on the other side, stress also can give you a heart attack. They said it's a silent killer. So these are some of the immediate effect that you'll see. Psychological symptom, remember the anxiety part, over a period of time. Is now is you're having a mental illness. Okay, mental health will be affected by this stress as well. And lower emotional well-being. So you don't think that people are supportive of you and whatnot. And lower job satisfaction. Lower job satisfaction. So you're not going to be happy going to work the way that you are doing this. Finally, the behavioral symptom. The behavioral system is the lower job performance. Of course, you're not going to be happy going to work and whatnot. Higher absenteeism. Okay, so there are days that you don't feel like going to work. Then higher turnover. You just quit the job that you're doing. Then you may end up jobless as well. So imagine all these can be caused by stress if we don't manage them. Okay, as we discuss about it, the cultural differences. Okay, this is an American base, different culture can deal with the stress level differently. So, what are the consequences of the stress at work? We also discussed about that. The consequences are these three that I actually mentioned. So, I don't think that they will come individually. They will come, it's the combination of all the things. The point is, you will have issues with your body, meaning your health. Then you will have issues with your head, meaning your mental health. These are the things that you want to avoid at all costs. It's not worth feeling sick and die because of stress. But stress is not a bad thing, though. As we discussed, stress is not a bad thing because stress, you require stress to perform. Okay, as you can see the diagram here, at a lower level, when your performance only can increase when you have certain level of stress to push up to you to do more training, more work. We call this the performance anxiety. You need to have that performance anxiety to deliver a better performance. But of course, you cannot be overconfident. Oh, I can do it and I can win it. No, no. You really need that kind of minor anxiety in you so that you'll study more, you'll train more, and whatnot. So you can only achieve the best performance of you when your performance and the stress meet at the right point. Okay, we call this a sweet spot because with the right amount of stress, the right ability, you will succeed. That's a key here. But the problem here, if the stress prolong longer than needed, now your performance will go down because you no longer will be actively achieving success in your life because the performance will go down because too much of stress is constantly. So remember, this is the graph that proves that stress is necessary, stress is needed for you to perform, but not to the level of continue to have a stress. So this is the point that you must learn how to manage your stress. So managing stress is the key here. Okay, because if your moderate level of stress, that's very good. It can help you to function. But if the stress is extreme, you got to manage the stress. So there are two ways that you can manage your stress. One is the individual approaches. So what can you do with the stress on your side? Yeah, individual approaches. You yourself, nothing to do with the company. The second one is the one we call as organizational stress. You must take personal responsibility of you reducing your stress level. If you're under stress, you don't expect others to help you. Of course, the help may come, but you have to take the responsibilities. Okay, this is the mistake that I've done. This is the job that I'm supposed to deliver and whatnot. Okay. So individually, ask yourself, how are you going to manage your very own stress? That's going to be the key here. Okay. So what are the strategies that you have? Okay. In the textbook, as you can see, the strategies are you must know how to manage your time. Absolutely. Remember, everybody has got 24 hours. How come some people can achieve more, some people achieve less? So time management, go and Google out some of the technique how to manage time management. If you want, go ahead and check out with the urgent and important quadrant. Just type urgent and important. There'll be thousands of resources available for you to manage your time. What are the important things to do? What are the urgent things to do? What is the urgent and important things to do? What is the not important things that you are not supposed to do? All that will be what we call shown in the diagram called urgent and important quadrant. Time management. Yeah, go ahead. Another one is the increased physical exercise. Oh, it works well for me. Whenever I'm distressed and whatnot, I will straight away hit to my workout place. Then I'll start to do pump some iron and also do some other physical activities. Of course, sometimes I will also alternate that with my sauna. Okay, relaxation training. Okay, this is again you go back and you chill down. So another thing, expanded social support network. Maybe you may want to join some of the group that most of the members are still facing some kind of stress, so you want to be part of that support group. Okay, like they could talk about the alcohol anonymous group. You go there and you'll be supported very well. So these are some of the what you call the strategies that you as an individual can take. Our concern is how organizations, that is actually major source of your stress, how they can help you. So this is what we're going to discuss. So organizational approaches are clear cut. Okay. So that means there are so many factors that causing your stress. In what way it can be modified or dealt with. Okay. So we're going to look into some of the strategies that organizationally what we can do. First of all, we are talking about better selection and placement and training. So choosing the right people, very, very important, right? Then we are talking about helping people to set their KPI, their goals, so that they are not overwhelmed or they are not under pressure to deliver. Okay. Or maybe redesigning the job, make people do different things according to their strength. Get employees involved in the decision making, what is expected of them, and the way that the company is going to communicate the progress as well as their goals and also the reward system and whatnot. Clear communication so employees knows that the company is taking care of them as well. Employee sabbatical, so you can always allow people to get out of the workplace. And like universities, it will happen most of the time. Some of my colleagues, they will go sabbatical leave into another university. Then they go there just for a purpose of teaching, a purpose of doing a research there, 3 months, 6 months. And some of my lecturers are going away for even 2 years. Okay, so that's what we call as a sabbatical things. And the salary will go on, but they get to do what they want to do elsewhere. And wellness program, this is currently the top strategy. The company can prepare some gym, some other workout, and I know that some companies prepare what you call yoga and whatnot. Okay, we repeat. Okay, selection and placement is so important because you have to match the right people with the right job. Imagine that you are being appointed to become a customer relationship officer or customer officer, then but you're an introvert. So it's going to be quite difficult to match. I'm not saying the introvert is bad, but again, it's going to be quite difficult to match. The demand of the job that many people come and say hi to you and whatnot, it's going to stress you out big time, big time. All right. So that is the purpose of we identify who are the right people that we're going to hire, particularly if we can actually match them with the personality profiling. So it's going to be very helpful. Goal setting, as I mentioned earlier, is another area that the companies must look into because most of the time, people always blame that they are overworking. So they end up doing extra work for their company. So they don't want to do that. So how to decide the right amount of challenges and the work, okay, and the employees are committed towards delivering the goal willingly is going to be the key. So goal setting, also sometimes we call this the KPI, key performance indicators, key result area, KRAs, and all that are going to be an area that the management must look into because they don't want to employee suffers and go into the state of burnout. Burnout means they don't feel like going to work again. Redesigning the job, and this is where you have to make the job more meaningful. And I think I've been talking to you all for the whole semester how happy I am going to work with that meaningfulness that I am actually feel whenever I go and do and deliver my job. So this is again very, very important because when people are happy going to work and they are using their talent and the strength and they'll get excited, the stress level will be definitely lower. I don't say 100% will be gone. So redesigning the job based on the values and based on the the strength of the employees going to be really, really cool. Employee involvement, I mentioned earlier, it's all about getting the people who are doing the work get into the planning stage. So when employees are in the process of deciding, planning, and eventually executing the job, they will take ownership because they know that that decision was made by them, not by somebody else. So that is where the key here is that. So giving the employees a voice, that means they can voice out what they want and how they want, is definitely going to be the key here. So employee involvement, if you ask me, one of the top way to deal with the stress. Organizational communications, okay, as we discussed much earlier, it must be the formal communications, not a informal, not a gossip, whatnot. It's a formal communication from top to bottom, and sometimes from bottom to top, that we'll talk about it, okay? Because otherwise, if the company is not talking to the employees about the plan and what's happening, it's going to create uncertainty. And uncertainties are definitely way to get the what do you call stress level very, very high. Employee sabbatical. Okay, some employees need some occasional escape. So I've never taken sabbatical, but some of my colleagues are. Maybe because I also get out from UPM to work from time to time, so I don't feel like I must go into another university officially, because without that itself I'm already working. So I'm having a fulfilled life here. Sabbatical is very important because you get away from the toxic work environment, maybe, or maybe a toxic bosses, we don't know. So that is one of the key element where people can get out. And corporate wellness programs are currently the top program. Trust me, they are currently the top program, where the whole level of employees' wellness, health is taken care. Some of the places they have a gym, or at least the companies will pay for your gym membership. Yoga in the office places that I've seen. Good food. They are providing a good food, as well as the other types of recreational what do you call opportunities are given to the employees. Most importantly, not only physical, but the companies also talk about the positive work environment and whatnot. So these are some of the what you call strategies that can be taken by what you call the employees towards managing their stress. Okay, so it's about two ways. It's about focusing on the physical and a mental condition of the employees. That's the key here. Okay, so hopefully, okay, this discussion was useful for you. My personal takeaway message for you is very simple. Do not die for the company. No. Do not die for the company. You your life is too precious. Your life is too precious. You must live a full and meaningful life. Full and a meaningful life, and live your life to the what they call to the fullest. Work is very important in your life. I know that work is very, very important in your life. No doubt about it. You're going to work about, sometimes from 8 to 12 hours a day. There are people who work more than that. And it is not fair that you go out there and you die because of work. So you may leave behind a lot of money for your family, but if you're not around, what is the point of it? What is the point of it? Okay. So find a job. Okay. Remember, find a job that you love doing. Find a job that you're good at doing. Then chances are you will have lesser stress. I'm not saying that no stress at all, but you will have a lesser stress towards that whole what do you call experience of you being an employee. Or maybe sometimes you also will face the challenges of being an entrepreneur, a businessman. Stress will always there. So manage the three areas of your stress well. Please focus on the relationship in the workplace, family, okay, your immediate family, whatnot. That is going to be the killer. Second is definitely your health. Trust me, if you don't take care of your health, it will come and bite you back. Then you'll suffer. Look around your families, how many of your parents are in the 40s having diabetes and having a heart-related illness and all the things. They are not having a good life. Okay, and you are in the right position to deal with that. Third is finance. Okay, go out there, earn a lot of money so that you don't be disturbed by the challenges of managing your company, managing your family, managing yourself because of the what do you call financial challenges that you face. So if you can focus on these three, and I believe, okay, you will lead a life less stressed, and most importantly, you will lead a life, okay, that you'll be happy about. Eventually will become your fulfilled and meaningful life.